Hi, my name is Jessica.
And I'm Ashley.
And we're educators at the Living Coast Discovery Center. Today, we're going to discuss exploring nature through hiking.
Here in San Diego County, we have a variety of different opportunities to get a chance to go outside and hike, from beginner trails to advanced trails.
There are a variety of hikes to choose from coastal hikes to steeper mountain hikes. Whatever hike you decide to do, make sure to do a little bit of research before you go out. Also, make sure to bring plenty of water and snacks, as well as sun protection, proper attire, and most importantly, a good sturdy pair of shoes. Now for safety, make sure you stay on the trail and you hike with a buddy. There are several different hiking apps available that can be a useful tool in finding a variety of hikes, as well as providing information about each hike. All Trails is a great resource to find trails and keep records of what hikes you have been on. You can also search for beginner, intermediate, and more advanced hikes. Be sure to read the reviews and comments of each location to learn a little bit more. Now, if you're more of an advanced hiker, or if you plan on doing a very long hike, it's even more important to do research about the area you're going into. Make sure to bring extra water, extra food, and be mentally and physically ready for that hike. If it's a long hike, make sure to get up super early so you're doing the hike at the cooler parts of the day.
The San Diego area has a variety of different habitats that you can explore through hiking, including the coastal sage scrub, the chaparral habitats, as well as the woodlands, mountains, and desert habitats. Depending on the habitat that you're hiking through, you're going to get a chance to see a variety of different wildlife, including many different species of both plants and animals. A habitat is a place where an organism can make its home. Habitats include 4 things: food, water, shelter, and space. All 4 of these requirements must be met for an organism to be able to survive. For an animal, this means that they can find enough food and find a mate, as well as find a place to be able to live. For a plant, this means that they're able to get enough sunlight, water, and good soil conditions. These 5 habitats can be identified by looking at the type of plants, trees, elevation, and rainfall. Let's explore some of these habitats.
Coastal sage scrub is a habitat found throughout Southern California. 2 places within the San Diego area that you can find them is the Torrey Pine State Natural Reserve, as well as throughout the San Diego Refuge System. It is a habitat that is a transition zone between grasslands and forests, but requires specific conditions such as fog or a marine layer. This change in sunlight conditions allows a variety of low shrubs to be able to thrive in our county. At these locations, you can see many different plants that survive here, including things like coyote bush, California sagebush, and the endangered salt marsh bird's beak. Animals that you can find in these habitats are wide-ranging, but some unique ones include over 150 different species of birds, the endangered light-footed ridgeway rail, the California gnatcatcher, and the western spadefoot toad.
The chaparral habitat is another dominant habitat that you can find throughout San Diego County. The chaparral habitat is going to be dominated by shrubs that have thick stems and rubbery leaves. These adaptations help the plants to be able to survive fires, as wildfires are very common in the chaparral. Let's take a moment and look at an example of a chaparral plant, the lemonade berry bush. Right here, we have the lemonade berry bush, and it has the characteristic thick stems that allow it to absorb as much moisture out of the ground as possible, as well as the leaves that are going to be thick and rubbery. So when you touch them and even look at them, you'll see they actually look like they have an extra coating on them. This helps protect them from losing moisture throughout the day from the sun, as well as during the wildfire season.
This habitat is defined by having shrubs that have hard stems and thick rubbery leaves. The plants that you will find in the chaparral habitat will vary greatly depending on your elevation. Animals that can be seen in this habitat include the barn owl, king snake, coyote, horned lizard, jackrabbits, and many others. Some areas to go hiking where you can find this chaparral habitat would be the Hollenbeck Canyon, Elfin Forest, and right here at Mission Trails. Another habitat you may come across while hiking throughout San Diego is the riparian woodlands. This habitat is home to large oaks and is typically adjacent to some sort of waterway like rivers, lakes, or streams like this one right here. Trees found growing in a riparian woodland are found growing on the northward facing slope and often are mixed in with coastal sage scrubs. Some great opportunities to see this habitat would be at the San Diego Refuge in Jamul, as well as the Santa Margarita Preserve. Wildlife you can find in this habitat include foxes, frogs, garter snakes, cottonwood trees, and willows. People think of sunny beaches when they think of San Diego, but we do have some gorgeous mountain ranges. San Diego County's mountains provide beautiful scenery and amazing hikes. The Cleveland National Forest, Palbar Mountain, and Stonewall Peak are all great places one can check out to go on a hike. If you're feeling like you have missed the traditional 4 seasons, head out to a mountain hike. Due to the elevational changes, our mountain regions experience all 4 seasons, including a higher rainfall during the wet seasons and snow. I recommend hiking our mountains during the fall and spring seasons. While out on a mountain trail, you may come across different wildlife like mountain king snakes, the screech owl, or even the golden eagle. Mountain lions are known to live in these areas as well, although it is unlikely you will see them. The Jeffrey pine and the ponderosa pines are beautiful trees that you can find throughout these areas as well. We are very fortunate here in Southern California as we have a variety of habitats to choose from. Another habitat that you can see in the San Diego County is the desert habitats. Deserts are traditionally found in low elevations and are hot and dry with little to no vegetation growing. Some wildlife have learned how to thrive in these environments. Rattlesnakes, chuckwallas, long-eared owls, and the Swainson's hawk are some examples. If there are wild animals found in the desert, there must be a food source as well. In the desert habitat, you can find a variety of different plants like the desert cholla, prickly pear cactus, ocotillo, and dozens of flowering species. Some places to check out include the Pictograph Trail and Borrego Palm Canyon. Of course, if you plan on going hiking in the desert, be sure to bring lots of water and snacks. San Diego is one of the most biodiverse places in the whole United States. Biodiversity simply means that there is a large amount of species found in one area. Because San Diego has a unique climate and several different habitats, it can be home to several different species of plants and animals. Although San Diego is considered a biodiversity hotspot, it is also considered a conservation hotspot as there are many threatened and endangered plants and animals in our area.
Wildlife suffers from human developments. As we develop more areas, we are destroying the natural landscapes. which can have large impacts on the native plants and animals. One thing you can do to prevent this is to support wildlife preserves and corridors. Another threat to native habitats includes things like invasive species, like the ice plant. Invasive species are plants and animals that come into a new area and outcompete the native wildlife for their resources. These plants and animals will drive out the native species, causing more harm to the habitat itself. One thing you can do is plant native species in your own yard.
Thank you guys so much for joining us as we went hiking through different habitats of San Diego.
Be sure to tag us at The Living Coast on your next hiking adventure.